Hey YouTube, this is Ziggy J, and I'm back again 3 months after I did my first how to deal with a breakup video. So, what's been happening, what's been going on in my life? So, 3 months since I've made that video, a lot has happened, and a lot hasn't happened. I ended up getting a really good job. Ended up meeting a lot of really good people, going out a lot more. Um, Ended up just doing a lot of things that I did not do on a regular basis. Was going out every week, got into contact with an old childhood friend. So, a lot of good things have happened to me since April. And I was just looking at other videos on YouTube about the no contact rule, which is really what this video is going to be about. The no contact rule, or the 30-day no contact rule for breakups, and what you should do and what you shouldn't do. Now, the no contact rule is traditionally meant in a sense to, go a certain period of time without contacting your ex at all. Meaning you block them off of everything. You don't call them, you don't text them, you don't go anywhere near where they go, that they tend to go. You make sure they have no way to contact you. You block them off social media, you block them out of your phone, you avoid any places they tend to hang out, you avoid mutual friends for a certain period of time with the hopes that your ex will start to miss you and want to reach back out to you. Now, the thing with no contact is there's a good version, in my opinion, and a bad version of that. The good version, or I'll start with the bad version. The bad version is implementing no contact with the sole purpose of hoping your ex gets back in contact with you. And I'm not going to lie, does it work? Yeah. Yeah, it does. It does work in a lot of cases, unless your ex is distracted by another relationship, life, job, tragedy, whatever is in your ex's life that's distracting them from reaching back out to you. Other than that, yes, no contact does work. But my version of no contact is a self improvement version. Implement no contact, but do it with the intentions of improving yourself. Do it with the intentions of learning how to get along in life without your ex. When you've used to speaking or talking to a person on a regular basis for years, even months, it takes what, 15 to 20 days to break a habit. If you're used to having someone in your life every day or on a regular basis for 15 to 20 days, that's a habit. And it's a habit that can be very difficult to break. So, no contact should be a period where you are learning how to get along in life without this person. You're learning how to wake up every day, find the strength to get dressed in the morning, to eat breakfast, go to work, find the strength to come home, fix dinner, go to bed at a decent time of the night. You don't want to be a person who can't get up out of bed because you're it's like you have crippling depression. You don't want to be a person who can't go to work because you just can't get through the shift without crying. You don't want to be the type of person who your diet sucks because you're not cooking anymore, because you and your ex used to cook, or you just don't feel like going to the grocery store and putting in the time to do it, so you're ordering takeout every night. Or you can't go to sleep because they're constantly on your mind, so you're not going to sleep until like 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, or sometimes not at all. So now you're sleep deprived, and every time you think about them, you burst into tears. That's crippling depression, and that's what you want to avoid. Now, not saying that you should avoid how you feel, but you want to avoid slipping into a phase that is like that. Like literally the breakup is diminishing your quality of life. So no contact gives you the tools to be able to get along in life without your ex. It gives you the tools to be able to live and heal properly. Whether your ex contacts you or not is irrelevant. More more often than not, if you were a good partner, they will contact you again. But that shouldn't be the goal of no contact. The goal of no contact is self improvement, getting out there, doing things you wouldn't normally do or wouldn't have done if you were still with your ex. You know, actually repairing old friendships that were maybe lost over the years or maybe lost when you got with your ex. Going out and enjoying yourself, creating new friendships, really, improving yourself in your career, working your way up into management, you know, making more money, being successful, because guess what? The best revenge is success. So if your ex sees you being successful in life, that might make them jealous and might make them want to reach out to you. Not saying that you should make your ex jealous on purpose, but if you do things in life that are going to bring you success, people are going to gravitate towards you, and that includes your ex. But no contact should be implemented with the idea of self improvement and learning how to get along in life without your ex. Because you don't want to be the crippling, the depressed person who can't do anything because there's it's kind of like the person who would rather be asleep because the waking life is just so painful. You don't want to do that. So I'll let you guys know what I have done or what I have been doing. So over the last 3 months, what I have been doing is the very first thing I did was ask my ex for closure. I was denied that closure. So what I started to do was I started to go out. I actually found a meetup group on an app called Meetup. I'm a nerd, so I like to play video games and read manga, stuff like that. So I found a group that also likes to do those things. And I went out with this group almost every single weekend. And had a blast. The very first meetup we went to an amusement park. Rode a lot of roller coasters, a lot of rides, bumper cars, stuff like that. Had an amazing time. Actually, that very first meetup was back in May. And that was probably the worst I ever felt. The best and the worst I ever felt. The worst because that was a place where I told my ex I was going to take them when they came to visit me. So of course, the breakup is still fresh at this point. And I feel sad because they're not there. But I had such a great time that it balanced itself out. So every weekend I would go out with this meetup group. And what I also did was I also got back in touch with an old childhood friend that I haven't spoken to in years. That helped because this person was also going through a breakup and we were able to relate to each other and comfort one another. So I'm going out with people, I'm meeting new people, I'm reconnecting with older friends who, friendships that were lost in the past. And one thing that I was also doing was anytime I thought about my ex, any kind of hurt feelings, any kind of painful feelings, emotions that I would feel, I welcomed them. I didn't avoid it. I didn't sweep it under the rug. I didn't hide from it. I dealt with it, and then I filed it away. I dealt with it, filed it away. Because I wasn't going to run away from this. The truth of the matter was, my ex was gone. They were moved on with someone else, and that's what it was. I blocked them off all social media. I blocked them off my phone. They had absolutely no way to contact me whatsoever. And I did this continually. I got a new job. I made sure that I was, doing well in my job. I went out. I made new friendships. I restored old friendships. And every time I felt bad or felt a trigger from my ex, I welcomed it and I didn't run away from it. This time last year, me and my ex got together. So the whole entire summer is a trigger. But am I sitting in the house, hiding away, not going out, not doing anything? No, I'm actually going out, I'm actually doing things, and I'm actually living my life. And what I started to notice was the love and the thought of my ex started to become a lot duller, started to fade, and I spent less and less time thinking about them. And I started to get a recovery that was healthy, that was normal, that was natural. And at the end of the video, I'll tell you what ended up happening. But I ended up getting a recovery that was normal, healthy, and natural. I wasn't rushing anything. Now, I did go on a couple of dates, nothing too serious. I did go on a couple of dates, but other than that, I didn't jump into anything. I stayed single. I went out. I lived my life. So those are posts. So this is 3 months later. I made another video about tips on how to get through a breakup. Now, mind you, that very day I made that video was the same day my ex dropped the bomb on me. So that video was after some traumatic stuff that had been said by my ex, and it was raw feelings, like nothing but raw actual feelings in that video. So this is 3 months later. I sound a lot happier, a lot more at peace, a lot cheerful, a lot more confident, because I handled the breakup the right way. I didn't stay in the house. I got the hell out of this house every day. Well, not every day, but every weekend. I made new friends. I connected with old friends. I talked about the situation. Whenever I got the chance and I felt like talking about it, I talked about it. I didn't run from it. I explained, because, whenever you go through something bad, you explain your story, you inspire others to also come out and explain their story, and everybody can bond, and everybody can, compare, and everybody can be there for each other with what they've been through. And it's a healing process for all parties involved. So anytime I get a chance to talk about my story and I feel like it, I talked about it. I didn't run from it. And talking about it out loud and realizing what was done to me, and realizing that it wasn't my fault, helped me to get past it. Now, did I make mistakes? Yes. But to be treated in the way I was treated was uncalled for and unacceptable. And I realized that, and I forgave the person. More importantly, forgive, forgive, forgive. Never walk around with hatred and, bitterness and vengefulness in your heart. Forgive. Because you forgive not for them, you forgive for yourself. So, does no contact work? Yes, no contact works. But you don't want to implement no contact with the purpose, the sole purpose of, if your ex may come back to you. You don't want to implement no contact because of that, because it's not really moving on. You're simply just holding out every single day, hoping your ex might reach out to you. You want to implement no contact with the purpose of healing, with the purpose of learning how to get along in life without your ex. Because guess what? Whether they come back or not, you'll be a better person because of it. They might come back, they might not. But this is a stage of a breakup. And I mentioned this in my other video. You have 4 stages of a breakup, in my opinion. You have anger, sadness, remorse, and acceptance. Anger is being angry that you're being broken up with, or if you're the one that's breaking up with the other person because they're doing something that you don't like, and they're not getting it, and they're not understanding, so you have to break up with them. Or if the person broke up with you and you don't feel like it's justified or whatever. So that's step 1. That's phase 1. Phase 2 is sadness. That's when you cry and you think about it, and you might get a little depressed, and you don't want to go anywhere, you don't want to do anything. That's phase 2, sadness. Phase 3 is remorse. This is the phase where you begin to miss your ex. You feel regretful. You feel like you want to try to give it another try. You start second guessing the decision to break up. And then the fourth and final stage is acceptance, meaning you've accepted the breakup, you've accepted